What is Adar? An orc or an elf? The answer to whether Adar is an orc or an elf is simultaneously both and neither. The Rings of Power Episode 6 confirms that, in the beginning, Adar was originally an elf. His true name isn't revealed, but at some point during his free existence, Adar was taken prisoner by Morgoth. Galadriel mentions hearing stories of captured elves when she was a child. And as the Rings of Power's opening sequence showed, Galadriel's childhood was during the years of the trees, which means Adar is very old and has served Morgoth for a very long time. The Rings of Power hasn't yet mentioned it, but the war against Morgoth shown in Episode 1's history lesson sequence was actually his second attempt at conquering Middle-earth. The first came centuries prior, before the elven race had even awoken in Middle-earth. Morgoth was simply content to dominate and spoil the land at this point, but when he later noticed the elves emerging, he captured an unlucky few. Once the Valar realized, they intervened on the elves' behalf, dragging Morgoth back to Valinor never to return until the infamous Two Trees incident. If Adar was an elf captured by Morgoth, he must have been one of the earliest elves to awaken in Middle-earth. As the enemy's prisoner, Adar and his fellow captives would have been tortured, twisted, and corrupted into the very first orcs. Morgoth did this as a means of insulting Eru Ilúvatar, who loved the elves dearly. One assumes Morgoth bred the wider orc race from these original Uruks, which explains why the foul creatures possess select elvish traits, but are ostensibly very different. J.R.R. Tolkien never explicitly details how the orcs were created, but descending from elves captured by Morgoth is one of several versions offered by the author's legendarium. It's also arguably the most widely held backstory, since even Morgoth shouldn't be able to create life anew. The Rings of Power's Adar leans fully into that theory.